Okay, what are the key or major events in the bankruptcy process? Now, this is a great question, and it's something we've never talked about before. We've talked about the individual components of a bankruptcy case, but we've never really hit on the key or major events in the bankruptcy process. So let's talk about first, what are the key points in a Chapter 7 bankruptcy? Well, you got the pre-filing events. Number one, you've got to do credit counseling before you file. Now, what does that mean? Well, basically, there's U.S. trustee approved programs out there that have been developed and approved by the U.S. trustee so that you can go through the credit counseling process. Congress back in 2007 said this is mandatory. So anybody who files bankruptcy, any individual, unless they're waived or exempt, and they don't have to do the credit counseling process, they have to go through the credit counseling process. And you can do it by telephone, you can do it on the internet. There's an abundance of companies out there and ways to do it. Anyhow, that's a big event. Then you file your case. The filing of the case is a big event because you have to go through the signing. At our firm, a signing takes at least an hour to go through the process, or sometimes you could do it a little bit faster depending on the client and how much information they have. Some signings I've had taken well over an hour, and some take 30 minutes because there's just not a lot of meat on the bone there, or there's just the client they understand the process, they understand the difference between secured and unsecured debts, they understand what's happening in the Chapter 7. And some people don't, so we take a little bit more time. But the filing of the case, second major point. Third major point is going to be that meeting of creditors. Meeting of creditors is usually the most stressful thing for individuals. Believe it or not, after they've gotten us all the documents, after they do this, then they're really worried about the meeting of creditors. 9 out of 10 people walk out of the meeting of creditors going, that was it? Yeah, that's it. Oh, wow, that wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. Or I stayed up all night worrying about this. I wish I had a nickel for every time somebody said I stayed up all night worrying about this. I don't want you to worry about the meeting of creditors. Everything should be disclosed in your petition and schedules so that the meeting of creditors should be easy. The fourth thing in the Chapter 7 that's important is the financial management course. That course has to be completed before you get your discharge. Now, in the Chapter 7, I usually request my clients do it like a week after they file. Get the financial management course done, over with, bam. All that is watching, maybe if you do it on the internet, watching a series of videos. If you do it by phone, it's counseling. We want you to create a financial plan going forward so that you learn to live on a cash basis or change the way you think about using credit. I'm not going to belabor that point. It's a U.S. trustee approved course. You've got to get it done before you get your discharge. The fifth thing in Chapter 7 that's important is the discharge. That discharge is extremely important. Number one, it finalizes to all the creditors their ability to ever collect that debt against you from now until eternity. And the reason I like that is because 7 years down the line, 10 years down the line, if that creditor sells that debt or they try to collect that debt against you, it's included in your bankruptcy. The discharge is never ending. It's got a permanent injunction included, which prohibits those creditors listed in the bankruptcy from coming after you for that debt.